Ever find yourself scrolling for hours and wondering where the time went? It's not just you, and it's not just a bad habit. Infinite scrolling is literally changing your brain. Every time you scroll and see something new, your brain gets a tiny hit of dopamine, the feel-good chemical. This creates a reward loop, just like a slot machine, making you want to scroll more and more. But what's the long-term effect? Studies suggest this constant low-level stimulation can actually weaken your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for focus and decision-making. Your attention span shortens, and it becomes harder to concentrate on tasks that don't offer instant rewards. It's a physical change in your brain's wiring. So next time you're deep in a scroll hole, remember what's happening upstairs. Maybe you're not alone. It's that endless feed, the infinite scroll, pulling you deeper and deeper. But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless habit is doing more than just wasting your time? What if it's literally, physically, changing the structure of your brain? Stick around, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you look at your phone forever. Let's start with a little trip down memory lane. Remember the internet before infinite scroll? You'd click through pages, right? Page 1, page 2, page 3. Each click was a conscious decision. You reached the end of a page, and you had a natural stopping point. It was a moment to pause, to think, do I want to see more? Or is it time to do something else? This design gave us control. But then, in 2006, a developer named Asa Raskin invented the infinite scroll. His intention was good. He wanted to make the user experience smoother, to remove the friction of clicking. But in doing so, he accidentally uncorked a digital genie that we can't seem to put back in the bottle. Even he has expressed regrets, calling it a design that wastes, on average, a couple 100,000 human lifetimes every single day. So, how does this one feature have such a massive impact? It all comes down to a tiny, powerful chemical in your brain, dopamine. Dopamine is often called the pleasure molecule, but that's not quite right. It's more accurately the motivation molecule. It's what drives you to seek rewards. Your brain releases dopamine not when you get the reward, but in anticipation of it. Think about a slot machine. The fun isn't just winning. It's the thrill of pulling the lever, the sounds, the spinning wheels, the possibility asterisk of winning. Infinite scroll is the digital equivalent of a slot machine. Every time you flick your thumb, you're pulling the lever. You don't know what you'll see next. Will it be a hilarious meme? A stunning photo? An interesting piece of news? A message from a friend? This unpredictability creates what's known as a variable reward schedule. Your brain gets a hit of dopamine in anticipation of that next great piece of content. Because you never know when the jackpot will appear, you just keep scrolling, chasing that next little hit. The platforms are designed this way on purpose. They want you to stay engaged, to keep you on their app for as long as possible. This constant dopamine chase has a serious downside. When your brain is constantly flooded with these small, frequent dopamine spikes, it starts to adapt. It desensitizes your dopamine receptors. This means that over time, you need more and more stimulation to feel the same level of satisfaction. The little things in life that used to bring you joy, reading a book, taking a walk, having a quiet conversation, might start to feel, boring. Your brain's reward system has been rewired to crave the high-frequency, low-effort stimulation of the infinite scroll. This is a process neuroscientists call synaptic pruning. Your brain is literally strengthening the neural pathways associated with scrolling while weakening the ones used for deep, focused attention. Let's talk about that 2-hour attention span. Remember being able to sit and read a book for hours, or focus on a single task without feeling the itch to check your phone. Infinite scrolling is training your brain to operate in a state of continuous partial attention. You're constantly scanning for the next interesting thing, never fully engaging with any one piece of content. This makes it incredibly difficult to switch back to tasks that require deep focus and concentration. Your brain gets used to the rapid-fire context switching of a social media feed. When you then try to sit down and write a report or study for an exam, your brain rebels. It craves the novelty and stimulation it's become accustomed to. It's like trying to have a quiet dinner after spending all day at a loud rock concert. Everything just feels too quiet, too slow. This change isn't just a feeling. It's physical. Studies using fMRI scans have shown that heavy social media use is associated with changes in the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and focusing your attention. Essentially, the more you indulge in the instant gratification of infinite scroll, the weaker your brain's CEO becomes. It gets harder to resist impulses, to plan for the long term, and to stay on task. You're training your brain to prioritize short-term rewards over long-term goals. Another major impact is on our memory. The way we form strong long-term memories is by paying attention and processing information deeply. When you're just skimming and scrolling, information goes in one ear and out the other, so to speak. You're not giving your brain the time it needs to encode that information into your long-term memory. You might see hundreds of interesting facts or beautiful images in a single scrolling session, but how many can you actually recall an hour later? Probably very few. This is because you're engaging in shallow processing. Your brain is a use it or lose it machine. The neural pathways for deep learning and memory consolidation can atrophy if they're not being used regularly. So, what can we do about this? It sounds pretty scary. But the good news is that our brains are incredibly plastic. That means they can change and adapt. Just as we can wire our brains for distraction, we can also rewire them for focus. The first step is awareness. Simply understanding how these platforms are designed to hook you is a massive step towards regaining control. Let's get practical. One of the most effective things you can do is to introduce friction back into your digital life. Turn off notifications for social media apps. That constant buzzing and pinging is a direct line to your dopamine system, begging you to come and scroll. Go into your phone's settings and set time limits for these apps. When your time is up, it's up. This creates a hard stop, just like reaching the end of a web page used to. Another great tip is to make your phone less visually appealing. Switch your screen to grayscale. Without the bright, stimulating colors, the apps become far less enticing. It's amazing how much less you'll want to scroll when your feed looks like an old newspaper. You can also try a digital detox. This doesn't have to be a full week without technology. It could be as simple as having no phone periods during your day, like the first hour after you wake up or during meals. Use this time to engage in activities that require deep focus. Read a physical book. Go for a walk without your phone. Have a face-to-face conversation. Practice a hobby. These activities help rebuild your brain's focused muscle. At first, it might feel difficult, even boring. You'll feel that itch to check your phone, but stick with it. Each time you resist that urge and choose a more focused activity, you are actively rewiring your brain for the better. Think of it like going to the gym. If you've been sedentary for a long time, your first workout is going to feel tough. Your muscles will be sore. But if you keep at it, you'll get stronger. The same is true for your brain. By consciously choosing to limit infinite scroll and engage in deep focus activities, you are strengthening your prefrontal cortex, resensitizing your dopamine receptors, and reclaiming your ability to concentrate. The world isn't going to stop creating these addictive technologies. The responsibility, ultimately, falls on us to build a healthier relationship with them. It's not about abandoning technology altogether, but about using it intentionally, on our own terms. It's about choosing to be the master of your device, not the other way around. The infinite scroll might be designed to change your brain, but you have the power to change it back. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, give this video a like and consider subscribing for more content on how to thrive in our modern digital world. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one strategy you're going to try to reduce your scrolling time? Let's help each other out. See you in the next one.